A while back, we shared our ranking of the top 10 greatest players of all time. Many were surprised to see Hakeem Olajuwon so high on our list at number 3. So what made us rank him so high, even above players like Wilt Chamberlain and Shaquille O'Neal? That's what we're going to talk about in this video. To be honest, when we started working on our top 10 list, we didn't expect to put Hakeem that high. We didn't really know who was going to end up where, but that's the way things fell once the dust settled. And apparently, a lot of people agree with us since this is one of our most requested videos. So why do we say that Hakeem Olajuwon is underrated? Well, let's start with some interesting numbers since we know you all love those. Hakeem is 13th all-time in total rebounds, above Shaq, 1st in total blocks, above, well, everyone, obviously, 10th in total points, 25th in rebounds per game, above guys like Shaq, Duncan, Malone, and Garnett, 3rd in blocks per game, behind only the immortal Mark Eaton and Manute Bol, 13th in defensive rating, above Kareem, 4th in defensive win shares, above Wilt and Shaq, and 18th in total win shares, above some of the greatest players of all time like Magic, Bird, and West. Topping that many all-time greats in that many categories is pretty incredible. So why is Hakeem so often overlooked? Well, he did play in an era that made it difficult to stand out. The 90s NBA featured greats like Gary Payton, Reggie Miller, Dikembe Mutombo, Shawn Kemp, Patrick Ewing, Clyde Drexler, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, Shaq, David Robinson, and of course, Michael Jordan, many of whom are sprinkled throughout many fans' top 20 lists. But even when matched up against those greats, he often outplayed his opponent, even embarrassing them. For example, in the 1986 playoffs, when matched up against Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Hakeem averaged 31 points, 11 rebounds, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. In the 94 finals, Hakeem went against Patrick Ewing and dominated him, averaging 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 blocks to Ewing's 19 points. In the 95 playoffs, Hakeem embarrassed David Robinson by averaging 35 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. His team also swept Shaq and the Magic in the 95 finals, in which Hakeem averaged 33 points and 11 rebounds. Keep in mind that all of these are series stats, not 1 or 2 game anomalies. In fact, he's 9th all-time in points per game for the playoffs, above players like Kobe, Kareem, Shaq, Bird, and Wilt, just to name a few. He's also 6th all-time in points per game for the finals. Basically, he dominated when it mattered most. Now, we don't subscribe to the idea that players like Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell had it easy since the competition during their era was lower. But since the majority of fans do, it doesn't make sense that Hakeem, who played against arguably the toughest competition in league history, doesn't get his dues, despite winning 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, a regular season MVP, and 2 Defensive Player of the Year awards. What made Hakeem so amazing was that he was truly a two-way player. On top of introducing one of the most deadly offensive moves the NBA has ever seen, he's also the only player to average 14 or more rebounds and 4.5 or more block shots per game in the same season, and is one of 4 players to record a quadruple-double. Hakeem is the only player in NBA history to record more than 200 blocks and 200 steals in the same season, and is the only center to rank among the top 10 all-time in steals. That's versatility. There are some players who can do it all, but they aren't necessarily dominant in any one category. Then there are players who dominate in one category but can't do much else. Only the all-time greats, the Jordans, Kareems, and Hakeems, could actually dominate in every category. Olajuwon ended his career in the top 10 all-time in blocks, scoring, rebounding, and steals. He's the only player in NBA history to retire in the top 10 in all 4 categories. To further illustrate Hakeem's dominance, think about this. He's the only player in NBA history to win regular season MVP, finals MVP, and Defensive Player of the Year in the same season, and he's the only player in NBA history to win an NBA championship without a Hall of Famer or All-Star, which he did in 1994. In fact, the 94 and 95 Rockets are one of 6 teams to win a championship with only one All-Star, Hakeem being that one. So yes, Wilt averaged his 50 points on 40 shot attempts while playing every minute of the game. Russell won his 11 rings with 5 other Hall of Famers, and Shaq won 4 rings while playing with a guy who some say is the greatest player of all time. But what Hakeem was able to do, utter dominance in every aspect of the game, and the hard evidence and accolades to back it up, that's matched by very few players. So that's why we ranked Hakeem at number 3 all time. But we want to know what you think. Where do you rank Hakeem all time? Let us know in the comments, and make sure you follow us on social media to see previews of our videos before we post them. Don't forget to thumbs up this video and subscribe for more NBA mixes and top 10s.